Donald Trump's very swollen and sweaty physical appearance has raised eyebrows in what was meant to be a complete and total softball interview with Fox News' Brett Baier. We're going to look at it. There are moments when Trump's...
On the David Pakman Show, David dives into Donald Trump's recent interview with Brett Baier. In what should have been an easygoing discussion, Trump's bewildering responses have left many viewers questioning his mental clarity, from strange ramblings to bizarre justifications. And this interview reveals more than just Trump's thoughts. It unveils a deeper issue at play. Let's break this down together.
Seems utterly lost and completely unable to put together a single coherent sentence. He was asked by Brett Baier about the infamous and ongoing investigation into the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. He seems just gone. He is barely able to put together a single straightforward, non-meandering, coherent sentence. Take a listen.
On mobile, but you're the president. Can't you find out? No, I know. I'm relying on my people to tell me what it is. You know, we have deep-seated craziness in this country, and I'm relying on my people. And so far, they're good.
He seems to be remembering what he was told to say, and he's just completely unable to remember. So he's stringing together random words.
But so far, and in this case, it's Secret Service, they tell me it's fine. But it's a little hard to believe, to be honest with you, okay? It's a little bit hard to believe as I get that throbbing feeling.
This moment is more than just an awkward slip. It's a glaring indication of Trump's disconnection from reality. His inability to articulate a coherent thought showcases a troubling trend within leadership, where chaos replaces clarity, leaving citizens bewildered and concerned about their future.
Yeah. I get a little throbbing feeling.
Well, if you find out, we'd love to know. We continue to ask.
I know.
And a lot of people ask us.
It's a little bit strange. We have incredible people in there now. So,
with total respect, Brett Baier would love to know the outcome of the investigation into the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. Barely a single completed thought or sentence there. At another moment during this interview, Trump pulls out another rhetorical or linguistic tool that he loves, which is referring to nuclear weapons, or as some like to say, nuclear. I don't say that, but some do. Hold on, do I have it here?
Nuclear proliferation.
Right. Trump refers to nuclear weapons as the N-word, and again, just seems utterly lost.
Everyone was stronger, to a point where the next one's going to be, you know what, the N-word. You know what the N-word is, right?
Trump's careless use of language during this interview not only trivializes serious discussions, but also highlights how far removed he is from the consequences of his words. This is a dangerous precedent where rhetoric can incite division and confusion in a nation already grappling with polarization.
Nuclear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
I figured you'd want to clean that up. No, it's the N-word. That's a very nasty word, right? In a lot
nasty
of ways. The N-word used in a nuclear sense, that's the worst thing that can happen. And I think they were very close. The hatred was great. And I said, we're going to talk about trade. We're going to do a lot of trade. Don't forget, Iran wants to make a deal with us badly for a lot of reasons. But
what are we to make of this? What sort of statements are these? This is it. It just doesn't. It's a conversation. It's surreal in a way, because we see two humans, right? We see two members of Homo sapiens. We see so much that we're accustomed to. Their mouths open and close. We hear audio. They are words we recognize: nuclear, word, perfect, etc. But it doesn't mean anything. And we are left to figure out, was that an actual conversation? The topic turned to oil. I guess Trump is trying here to talk about oil techniques. And again, just meandering endlessly.
No, I think they want to make a deal. You know, you say to yourself, they have massive oil, by the way. They have oil that lasts for 300 years. They have a lot of oil. People don't realize they're one of the biggest in the world. And it's very good oil, meaning it's pure perfect stuff. They don't have to, spend a fortune on gases and energy in order to melt the rock and everything.
One thing Trump hates is spending any money on gases.
And they have pure, unadulterated, good oil. And you say, why does somebody that has that kind of oil, other than being politically correct, but when you have unlimited amounts of oil and gas, why are you putting up, why do you need civil nuclear? I just don't see it.
But I mean, are you going to call for it all?
And I think nuclear is fine. I think nuclear is fine for civil if you have a country with no oil. But if you're sitting on one of the largest piles of oil in the world, why are you talking about putting up nuclear?
Trump's for nuclear, but he's against it if you have oil. If the oil is good and not the kind that you need gases for, I guess. President of the United States, Brett Baier acting like this is all a normal conversation. Trump then weighing in on trips and money and Ukraine. I'm going to just be very upfront here. I couldn't tell you what point he's trying to make here.
I haven't seen you get personal. On Truth Social, you said, Vladimir, stop. He hasn't stopped. And you had once said that maybe you need to look at other things like sanctions or banking.
Okay, so
because maybe they need to be pressured in a different way.
And I'll be doing that if
do you think that it's
I don't want to see 5,000 people. Outside of the money, which is a big deal, but the money is the money. The money we can make up. I can make up the money on one trip like this. Okay, I mean.
I guess Trump sees these as sort of like sales trips where he gets money.
Think of it. This trip, I made 12 times the money that we're talking about.
Trump made money on the trip.
That money.
How many cars did you sell?
In a few days. I've always been good with money.
It's not about the money, it's about pressuring Putin.
Here we see the heart of Trump's logic, or lack thereof. His justification for prioritizing financial gain over ethical governance reveals a mindset that equates power with profit, diminishing the moral responsibilities of leadership. This perspective raises alarm bells about the values guiding our leaders today.
Right? I mean,
No, but I've always been good with money. I make money. I made in 4 days, I made 12 times what we spent in Ukraine. So the money is the money.
I'm going to get a great Q3 bonus.
What bothered me, I hated to see the way it was, pissed away.
All right. So I guess Trump says the money's no big deal for Ukraine. I don't like how it's being spent, but I can make it back really easily on a Middle East sales trip or something like that. Trump then just Brett Baier throwing a bouquet at Trump and says, how do you do it with such a grueling schedule? And Trump's answer is genetics.
Stops. It's a pretty grueling schedule. A lot of people said, how the hell do you do it?
by the way, how the hell do you do it?
I don't know. I think it's genetics. It's good genetics. I had a father who was very strong, and I had a mother who was very strong. They lived to ripe old ages, and they were great people.
There you go. Genetics allows Trump to do what he does, which is a terrifying concept. And then finally, the luxury 747 from Qatar. Why is it okay for Trump to accept it? He finally explains it here.
And he suggested this. And I said, you know what? That's very nice. That's very nice. I appreciate it. What would be the price? He said, there is no price. I said, that's nice. Now, this plane's not for me. This goes to the United States Air Force for whoever is president.
Mm-hmm.
It then goes to Trump's Presidential Library Foundation.
And at some point, it'll be like Ronald Reagan. It'll be decommissioned. It's 11 years old.
So it stays until it's decommissioned.
Yeah, it'll be decommissioned because they won't want it. Plus, they'll have the other two planes by that time, and there'll be brand new planes, etc. But I just want to say, it was a radical left story that a lot of people, including you.
And I asked the Prime Minister about it specifically. And he said, he didn't understand the reaction back home. And, he made that clear.
There you go. Oh, what a crazy world we now live in. And there is we have to remember that inside of our little bubble, we see this and we say, he can't think. He can barely put together a sentence. None of this makes any sense. He's justifying authoritarianism. He's justifying bribes. He's justifying everything. He doesn't understand anything. But there is a non-insignificant...
As this interview reveals, Trump's muddled thoughts and bizarre justifications are symptomatic of a larger issue in American politics. The disconnect between leaders and the public is palpable, leaving many voters feeling unheard and disillusioned. We must ask ourselves, what does this mean for our democracy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Are we witnessing the decline of coherent leadership?